L'Eucaristia è un rendere grazie a Dio. Questa sera noi vogliamo ringraziare il Signore per il cammino che tutta la Chiesa ha fatto sotto la guida di vostra santità e vogliamo dirle dal più intimo del nostro cuore, con grande affetto, commozione e ammirazione: grazie per averci dato il luminoso esempio di semplice e umile lavoratore nella vigna del Signore. Un lavoratore però che ha saputo in ogni momento realizzare ciò che è più importante: portare Dio agli uomini e portare gli uomini a Dio. Grazie.
And what we're seeing is that these events continue one after another.
Ground is shaking in an unusual way.
shook Mexico City. It comes after a magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck 120 miles east of Acapulco.
Of all the members of the Catholic Church, none is more visible than the Pope. But as a high office holder and a close friend of Benedict XVI, Cardinal Tarcisio Bertone is surely one of the most recognizable clergy. The Pope received Bertone and other priests on July 5th to recognize their 50th year as priests. Bertone has been Vatican Secretary of State since 2006 and was also named Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church in 2007. The Pope's Secretary of State oversees the Church's day-to-day operations. In January, the Pope gave Bertone a vote of confidence by asking him to remain in his role past the age of 75, the normal age for retirement. A Salesian of Don Bosco, Bertone was entrusted with the publication of the third secret Fatima in the year 2000. He served as number 2 official in the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith for then Cardinal Ratzinger from 1995 until 2002. Bertone is also a confidant of Benedict XVI. In a letter to him for his 50th year as a priest, Benedict XVI wrote, "Between us, there's a reciprocal and constant familiarity, which comes from finding ourselves together almost every day." That closeness with the Pope has brought Bertone down a path of authority and responsibility, a path that began more than 50 years ago today.
Hundreds of thousands from around the world have gathered in St. Peter's Square for the election of the new Pope.
Nearly 900 years have elapsed since St. Malachy predicted the arrival of the final Pope.
So far, only black smoke has arisen from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel.
The entire world is waiting and watching for the arrival of Petrus Romanus.
In the extreme persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations. And when these things are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the terrible judge will judge his people. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
Petrus Romanus, the final Pope, is here.